Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm sitting here in my favorite spot in my apartment in Kunshan, which is located outside of Shanghai in China. And I like to come here in the morning to, hang out, play a little guitar, maybe read a little bit of the newspaper online and such, and have a little breakfast and a little coffee. Because this balcony, which faces south, is like the warmest room in the house. And now that winter is coming, it's getting pretty cold. And I don't like to put on too much heat because I don't want to upset my guitars, make the environment too dry for them. But I was just watching a video by a guitar teacher named Joshua Krell, and it was about the open C tuning. And mostly when I play videos for my channel, I'm just throwing up songs that I'm covering, occasionally a song that I write. But I don't think I've ever thrown up a video about playing in alternate tunings. But I do like alternate tunings. For example, some of the Led Zeppelin songs that I love to play have alternate tunings, like Kashmir, like the Rain song. And those are very cool alternate tunings. Kashmir is Dadgad. Rain Song is another tuning. You can watch my video if you want to see what it is. But Joshua Krell, he's a guitar teacher, as I said, and he was doing a video about open C. So what is open C? Well, I can, provide the information down in my comments or in my description, but it's where you tune everything to C and its complements. So the sixth string, the lowest string, is normally tuned to E in standard tuning, but I've tuned it down to C. So it has that very nice low tone to it. And then the fifth or A string, you tune one step down to G, which is the fifth of C. The D you put at C, so you're tuning that one step down. So you have an octave right there. And then the G, the third string stays at G. So the fifth and the third form an octave. And then the second goes up. That's the only one that goes up from B to C. So you have an octave here at the fourth and second. And the first stays at E. Which is the third of C, right? If C is 1, E is 3, G is 5, and that makes a chord, a major chord. So you're basically strumming a C major chord. So Joshua was going up and down the fretboard, and he's a much better guitar player than I am, so I suggest you check out his video for details. I'll put a link to it. But it's just fun to play. And one thing that you can do is kind of play with the octaves. So you can go up the scale. That's a major scale, so. Playing with octaves. Helps that I'm a piano player, so I kind of know what the scales are, and you can kind of convert them in your brain to guitar. of improvising in music is just playing in a scale that, so if this is C, you can play the major scale or you can do the minor. Not sure if that would sound good strummed. We can find out. That's a little weird, but it's kind of cool. Because the rest of the, the open strumming these open strings, it's going to make a major, and if you're contrasting it with a minor, that's going to sound a little strange, but it could sound a little cool. I'm sure Jimmy Page spent hours upon hours just fooling around with these different combinations. The difference between the major and the minor. That's the major. And then the minor. I forget what mode that is, but there's Dorian, Mixolydian, Lydian, Phrygian. I knew all these at one point. All good musicians should know the modes, which I guess go back to ancient Greek but I like to kind of fool around with these combos. You can try moving up. Keep one where it is and then move the other one up. And you can try strumming. Works a little bit better in major scale, as I said. Something weird. And you can try moving the high E string up and down. Indian or something, Middle Eastern. If you hear explosions in the background, I think that's fireworks I am in China. People are lighting off fireworks all the time in this country for various celebrations, weddings, business openings. And there's a lot of construction going on in my neighborhood. A lot of new buildings going up. Again, that's that. Some kind of Middle Eastern or Arabic scale. And we can think about how the guitar has been continually enriched over the centuries with the infusion of so many different cultures of music, because it is the most kind of transportable stringed instrument and great for any kind of musical performance, live performance, and great to accompany singing. This sounds a little maudlin, like a Nick Drake song. Who says you need a cutaway to get up here? I prefer guitars without a cutaway, but sometimes, it's good to have maybe one or two guitars with a cutaway. Like having a little orchestra in your hands. You can decide how many voices you want. You can just have the bottom C droning, or you can, if you want to really focus on, but then you can move up and down chromatically, which means moving up a half step or just one fret. And if you don't know this stuff, it's good to take some basic music theory, take a course, work with a teacher to get some basic music theory down. that's a little bit of fun with the open C tuning. And I want to thank Joshua Krell. You can tell he's a really great teacher. And it's always fun to kind of learn new alternate tunings and new ways to play, and just experiment and fool around and have fun and not worry about, being precise. I think that's the main thing. Have fun, stay relaxed, and just enjoy the pleasure of playing. Bye for now.